In 1864, hurrah, hurrah, it called for 500,000 more, hurrah, hurrah. In 1865, they talk rebellious strife, and we'll all drink stone wine when Johnny comes marching.
Oh, I already know his purpose. Hello, welcome to another episode of Before You Buy, where we show you a little bit of gameplay and talk about our opinions on. Wait,
wrong show.
Oh, hold on, that's my other show. No, welcome to Hazardous Opinions. It's bad just taking credit for Before You Buy.
We are Game Ranks now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today we're covering Dr. Strangelove and the subtitle, How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yeah, that is a crazy title.
I
don't know why they put the colon after or, because that kind of messes me up. I always thought that Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb.
Yeah, it's quite the long name.
Yeah,
it reminds me of like Fall Out Boy with their long ass song titles.
Yeah, I think the title itself is supposed to be comedic. So this was a comedy made in 1964, back when there was a lot of paranoia about the commies and how they're going to destroy our way of life. And there's a lot of paranoia in this movie as well about that.
This movie is older than both of us, times 2 or 3.
Yep, very old.
But it's in black and white, but it holds up really well.
No color.
Yeah, like I'd say you get pretty used to it pretty quickly. I also don't much mind stuff like that. I've watched quite a few black and white movies, but it holds up really well.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen a lot of like old films like this. So when you suggested watching this and it said it was in black and white, I was like, oh man, this is gonna suck, because like we just have a different sense of humor now than we did back then. So I was just expecting it to suck, but I was very surprised and proved wrong, because this movie is hilarious in subtle ways.
Yeah,
it's not even like overtly like, how those some comedy movies are just like over, like their comedy comes from just being stupid. Like this is not that. This is like somewhat, like highbrow, like intelligent, but also really funny.
Yeah. They had an alternate title that was a little bit longer, and I'm actually quite fond of it. It's Dr. Doomsday or How to Start World War III Without Even Trying.
Yeah,
I thought that one was pretty good.
This is 20 years after World War II, and they're already talking about World War III. I find that funny.
I mean,
even
everyone
though
was worried about Russia and nukes, and
this
is like height of the Cold War.
Yeah, I mean, World War I and World War II weren't that far from each other either, right?
About 20 years.
20 years.
About the distance between World War II and this.
They were thinking we were about due for World War III at this point.
Yeah. Every couple decades, we'll just throw in a world war and sit back.
Well, I mean, even a few years ago when, the U.S. was having issues with Russia, we were all paranoid about World War III. Not as paranoid as this day and age, 1964. But, we were.
I mean, even with all the stuff going on in Ukraine now, I feel like everyone's still...
That's true. Yeah, still technically there is a war waging currently. We're not involved yet, but it does induce some paranoia.
Financially, we're quite involved.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that too. Yeah, we are expending
many
a lot of resources to Ukraine and supporting their fight, which is not a bad thing. I mean, we need to support our allies. But we don't
Maybe
need
need
to
to
go broke.
support ourselves first.
Yeah.
I mean, we have
It's
enough.
like, I don't have any
poor
money,
people
but
here,
I'll
and-
open a credit line and give you all the money that I can possibly give you.
right. But yeah, that's a whole nother
Yeah,
rabbit hole.
that's not the topic that we're talking about right now. But we're talking about Doctor
Yeah.
Strangelove, and
Yes, this is a Stanley Kubrick movie. I don't know if you've seen many of his, but I feel like it fits
haven't.
right in with his repertoire of like this one has more overt jokes.
Yep.
Where a lot of his movies I think are pretty you have to like delve into it a bit to realize like the satire or the deeper message in there.
Yeah.
I feel like Doctor Strangelove is a little more on the surface, but it still fits really well with a lot of the rest of his movies. Like Full Metal Jacket and
Some of them,
Shut.
some of the jokes made in here were a little obscure to me. I didn't honestly get them at first. I had to think about it, like, oh, that was a joke. Okay, So sometimes they didn't really land with me, but some of them were obviously jokes and made me laugh. But some of them, I was just had to think about it for a second. I'm like, oh, this guy's serious. But that's like the funny part is that he's serious.
Yeah. There's a few jokes that definitely outdated me, so it was a little hard to understand. But I got major like Naked Gun vibes from this. Or like Airplane. I don't know if you've seen either of those.
I haven't seen either of
Leslie
those.
Nielsen.
I've heard a lot about Airplane though. I've heard that's a really good movie.
It's definitely going on the list.
Yeah.
For movies with good humor. Good puns.
Yeah, so at the beginning with the credits, Peter Sellers was like, apparently huge. I don't know if like people like at the time would start cheering to see that he was featured in this. Apparently he was a really, really good comedian. And he has like 3 roles in this.
Yeah. He plays 3 different ones. So he plays Mandrake, which is that the on the army base that launches the nukes. He's the officer with the big mustache. The good officer,
the executive officer. Yeah, not the crazy general.
Then he plays the president, and then what was his 3rd role?
I think he also plays as general.
No, he's Dr. Strangelove is his 3rd one. So he's the president, Strangelove, and he's Mandrake.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't have been able to tell otherwise. Like he really sells these roles.
Yeah. I think it definitely helps being in black and white too to help disguise that.
I would have not known at all. It's not like obvious, like Adam Sandler and Jack and Jill.
Yeah. I watched the whole movie not even realizing that one guy was playing 3 different roles. It's very good. And he has a very different attire for all 3. So looks quite different.
All 3 of them are, well, the president's not that funny, but the other 2 characters are pretty funny. I don't know, like, honestly, I don't know if the president's supposed to be funny because like the you remember that phone call with Dimitri where I mean you could just imagine how Dimitri is on the phone, like he's just like so upset, like he's just like trying to calm him down, like he's just crying on the phone or something.
I got the sense that maybe this was in the height of an age that making a man sound emasculine was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It just, I agree. It didn't really like hit for any of the jokes that the president made, but
no, not really.
I liked his dialogue.
I think the whole premise of him calling up another world leader and being like, "Hey, so one of our base commanders, he is funny in the head, and he did a silly thing,
a little funny."
Yeah, he got a little funny, and then like, or how they both started it, and they found out that he's like, be careful, I think he's drunk, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm coming through fine, and you're fine, we're both fine. And it's like you start a conversation with another world. Like, if this is a conversation between world leaders, I think that's the funny part.
Right. Meanwhile, there's like a 20-minute timer ticking down
Yeah,
till the end of the world, pretty much.
fucking nuclear annihilation.
Yeah, and he's just taking his time on the phone.
Yeah,
It's like, oh my god, I feel like this is how people would actually act. You
I
just
know. Well, like, you
taking
gotta
our time.
wonder like how a situation like this would go. Would it just be like, it wouldn't be an email, right? Would it be a phone call? I don't know. Send an
Yeah.
email. It's like, yeah, we accidentally attacked your country. Thanks. LOL. Bye.
Attacked. We accidentally completely nuked every single strategic military site in your country.
Oh my
There was
god.
like 30 or 40 bombers
Yeah.
on that map.
All tasked with. It was 34 of them,
Yeah.
and one of them we had the pleasure of spectating with Lieutenant Kong.
Yeah, I love that actor. God, I can't remember his name now.
I think it
But
was George C. Scott.
no, that was the general.
Oh, that was, yeah.
Slim Pickens. Major
Slim
Kong.
Pickens.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's weird that his name is that. It just somebody had the last name Pickens, and then they're like, yeah, let's just
He looks like a Slim.
Slim Pickens.
Yeah, apparently he's in a lot of Old West type movies and stuff like that. So he fit very well into this role.
Yeah.
Did you know James Earl Jones was in this?
James Earl Jones.
Yeah, the
Oh,
voice of Darth Vader.
he is. Yeah, he is in this. He
Yeah,
was just one of the guys on the plane. He was. I also remember
Yeah.
him from Coming to America. I don't know if you ever seen that.
No, I haven't.
It's with Eddie Murphy. It's pretty funny. I like it. The second one came out not too long ago. I think it was a couple of years ago, but the older one, the first one, came out a long time ago. Like, I grew up with that film.
Yeah. Jones is young in this movie.
Yeah,
I
he is
I
very
don't think
young,
I've ever seen him young before. So
right?
this
Yeah,
was interesting.
that's cool though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird getting to see those actors that were old all of the time you were alive and get
Yep.
to like go back and see them in younger roles. Like
Yeah.
in another one of Kubrick's movies, I watched Eyes Wide Shut, which came out in '99. Tom Cruise is in that. He looks so young in there. I've always just he's always just had that adult face to me, so it's weird seeing him a lot younger.
Yeah, I think the youngest I've seen Tom Cruise was Rain Man.
Oh yeah, I've seen Rayman.
Yeah, he was super young in that one too.
Yeah, he looks like a kid in that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So there's one thing.
Oh, go
Sorry.
ahead.
The B-52s that
Yep.
that constantly fly around just in case of that they need to go nuke something. That's still a thing as far as I'm aware.
Really?
I don't know if it's B-52s anymore. It might be a newer model, but they have like bombers running 24/7, 365, just constantly waiting for war.
That's crazy.
Probably a little more safeguards though now for the nukes.
Why do they have to fly around though? I mean, couldn't they just have them stationed on a aircraft carrier or something when they get there just as fast?
Well, just in case the carrier got bombed, I guess. So you don't
I suppose. Yeah.
lose your stuff.
Yeah, you gotta keep on your toes for sneak attacks.
Yeah. So along with the B-52 stuff, the Slim Pickens and crew there, when they first get the code that flips over on the little turn dial there.
Yeah.
This whole couple minute scene is just intense to me. Like they're decoding it, and they're like, "Oh, Plan R,"
Yep.
and he's like going back there to confirm it and stuff, and then they start prepping and reading through their manuals that they pull out from the safe, and like I can't
Yeah.
imagine like being in that position and finally getting a notification that
You're going
you're
in.
probably not going to come home to a home.
Yeah. Like you're going to
Every,
war.
yeah, like you guys in this plane are probably going to be some of the last people alive
Oh my
very
God.
shortly.
Yeah. There is a very serious tone right there in the beginning.
Yeah,
Even when General was it Jack Ripper?
yep, the crazy one.
General Jack Ripper called up Lieutenant Mandrake and telling him that we're gonna be in a shooting war. And I'm like, oh wow, it's gonna be crazy and all that. Yeah, it was a very serious tone, and then he starts talking about bodily fluids, and
Yeah,
then
it's
it
just like,
all
okay,
goes
he's a
downhill.
little odd.
All goes down from there. Then you just realize, okay, what this man is willing to start a nuclear war over bodily fluids,
I
the purity of essence.
don't
I
think I
just
even
thought that
fully
was
got
nuts.
like how crazy he was at that point
I didn't
until
either.
they start sending troops to go recapture the base, and that would be a scary thing too. Like imagine you're on post and it gets fucking locked down, and they're like, shoot anyone who
Yeah,
comes,
code
and
red.
it's your own men. They come up.
Yeah. But no, they were not convinced that they were the enemy. They were like, yeah, they were convinced that they were the enemy because they're like, yeah, they probably got him. Like they weren't even convinced that they were their own people because they were convinced that it was the enemy, the commies that stole their military equipment. It's like because they were sitting at post, they're like, "Where do you think they got it?" And it's like probably from a military surplus store or some shit. It's like, why would they get? How would they get all this from military surplus? God
Yeah,
damn
and they've already dropped in the middle of is it like Nevada or Arizona, wherever
it!
the base was.
Yeah. So like, yeah, locks himself in, cuts all communications
Yeah,
over bodily fluids.
yeah, and the scariest thing is this stuff was pretty accurate at the time. Not
Like,
like all the bodily fluids, but like the protocols, like a lower commander of his level
yep,
could initiate nuclear war.
yeah.
I read in a lot more about like the changes and stuff that came out after this movie, and it's really interesting to see how many like changes, like because now it takes two people. You can't like just make it on a
Oh,
one person decision.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. And also, I don't think they have the ability to like what do you call it? Like have that secret code only known by that one star.
Yep. And then he ends up, going in the bathroom and shooting himself. And then nobody knows the code.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if it was intentional, the code at all, or if it was just like ramblings. But as soon as I seen it, I was like, oh, because it is OPE.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
just thought it was funny.
Opie.
Oh, oh, the Midwestern slang.
Yeah, the Midwestern slang. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Oh, excuse me.
yeah. So General Turgidson, the other general that's in the war room, is also completely off kilter in the head. I don't know if you noticed, but like as the president and stuff would be like responding to him, he just keeps eating a stick of gum like every
Yep.
time it looks back at him.
Yeah, I noticed that. And then you look at the desk in front of him, there's just gum wrappers everywhere.
Right? Yeah, these scenes in here, at least at the start, before it got crazy with Strangelove coming in,
Yeah.
were also pretty intense because it was still in like the semi-serious part of the movie, and
Yep.
everyone's just like, okay, What do we do?
What do? We have no communication. Literally, the plan that we came up with is undisputable by any outside source.
Yeah, they're like, how could he have done this without consulting me? And he's like, sir, you signed the order that said he could.
Yeah,
Like, that designates it all to lower commanders.
yeah,
And that whole like conversation there was very scary to me because
yeah.
I was like, I can totally see that conversation happening. Like, how did this general like do this without consulting the president? It's
I
like,
know.
well, sir, you signed this one order and allowed it, and like you didn't even realize, and now we're in nuclear war.
It's like when he's like, I thought I was the only one that could initiate nuclear war, and then he's like, well, it seems to me that General Ripper may be overexerting his authority, just by a little bit.
Yes. Plan R. R for Robert.
Yeah, it's like I don't know if it's every pilot's job to know all the attack plans. I
I think that's why
suppose.
they had all the booklets in the safe.
Yeah, so they can
Because as
learn
soon as
about
they
it.
got their as soon as they got their official orders, they went and pulled out the packet. I was also thinking like, if each plane has this packet in there, what happens if one of them goes down? I know they have that
Right.
self destruct thing, but you just have all your plans in a safe in
It's
there.
in a safe, so it would probably survive the crash.
Yeah,
So like all the enemy would have to do is open up that safe and get all their attack plans.
yeah. So I suppose
So
maybe they self destruct before they even hit the ground, just to be preemptive. I don't know.
maybe, yeah, I don't know. Would that imply that there's like some C4 on the inside that would go off when there's a detection that the plane is going down? What if that malfunctions? Then it just gets destroyed. I feel like you can't really have a
No, it was
failsafe
a
for that.
it was it was a it was a two it was a couple switches and stuff when they were like doing all the tests in there. There was the auto destruct switch.
Oh, yeah. So they would have to manually do it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So I love Turgidsen's lines. A lot of his were pretty quotable.
Yeah.
The one that was going crazy in the war room.
Yeah.
So
He was
they're
funny.
it's like, okay, we need to bring the Russian ambassador down here so we can get in contact with the Russians and explain this is just an honest mistake. We didn't mean to possibly nuke their whole country. And then Turgensen's like, if you bring the Russian ambassador down here, he's going to see everything. He's going to see the board.
He's gonna see
And all you see,
be a massive breach in security. He's gonna see the big board.
he's going to see the board. And all you see on the board is just dotted lines of planes going towards Russia.
Yeah. Like what the fuck? All they're gonna know is like, okay, where all of our bases are. That's it. Pretty sure that's public
Yeah.
information. But where they're coming from too, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this ambassador guy. He's pretty cool because for a while you're like, well, is he?
Well, he's not actually the ambassador though. He's like because
He's an ambassador.
No. Well, who's the premier? Because the premier wasn't there. I thought
No,
he
premier
was.
is Dmitri. The ambassador is
Oh,
like the connection between us and their top people.
oh, okay. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like this guy because for a while you're unsure if he's what do you call it, like playing in a subterfuge and like trying to get information for the Russians,
Yeah.
or if he's actually just trying to honestly solve the situation. Because Turgidsen is just going crazy, so you don't know if you can believe him. He like tackles the ambassador down.
Well, he found the camera on him. He's like,
That's what
that
he
was
said.
planted on me.
But it's like, oh, the general totally planted that on him because he's just mad.
No, I don't think he did. Well, I
No,
mean, at the
by the
time,
end of the movie,
yeah,
I realized he probably didn't plant that on him.
yeah, because at
But
the
at
end
that
he
time,
was taking pictures with his watch.
yeah, it's like the whole world's about to get nuked, and he's just taking photos.
I know. He's like
Like this will be
trying.
useful,
Yeah, he's taking pictures of the big board. It's like, what are they going to do with that information? Like, we're already fucked, you know?
right? Yeah. So, so kind of a nitpick I had with this movie. Peter Sellers did great, even in
Yeah.
Strangelove's role, but I could not
Yep.
stand his voice as Strangelove. It just bothered the hell out of me.
It was so funny though. It was the way uh he smiled the whole time, and as
Yeah.
he was talking in like a German accent. And it cracked me up. I was dying when he sig hailed like uncontrollably.
Right.
Mein Führer.
I mean, my president.
I mean, sorry, my president, Mr. President. That was so funny. Yeah, I mean, I never heard of Peter Sellers before this movie, but I'm sure he was a great comedian.
Yeah, he fucking he stands up out of his chair and stuff, and
Mein Führer, I can walk.
it's good.
He sounded like he was Mein Führer. Like it was like he
Yeah,
sounded like
that's
Kermit the
dead on.
Frog if he was a
Yeah.
Nazi.
German Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, that was so funny, dude.
That's great.
Mein Führer, I can walk.
Oh my god. The what's his name now? Fuck, Mandrake. He had a beautiful mustache, by the way.
Yep, he did.
After
Well, it was like okay, his mustache. I gotta say something about that.
yeah,
It was like combed upwards. Did you notice that?
no, I didn't. Like to make it more thick.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. Maybe I was looking at it too closely, but it looked like it was combed upwards. All right. Never mind that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So after General God, there's so many fucking generals in the movie.
Right.
After the crazy general number one goes into the bathroom and shoots himself.
General Ripper.
Ripper, yeah. After Ripper goes into the bathroom and shoots himself there, the colonel comes in from outside after they finally like recaptured the base, and he's like questioning. He's questioning Mandrake, and he goes in the bathroom. He's like, "Why would he kill himself during shaving?" And he was like, kind of like accusing him of killing him. I don't know if it was like I think Peter Sellers is white, as far as I could tell, but I couldn't tell if it was like a race thing or if he was also like if this other colonel was just like
Peter Sellers
crazy for hunting reds, but he was like so accusatory towards him, and you just wouldn't believe Mandrake at all. So they go out to the phone booth, and I love this whole thing. He's like, "Okay, can you make it a collect call to the president?"
He was calling the president of the United States. Like the whole scenario was pretty funny because he was calling the president of the United States on a payphone, and then he ran out of change. He had to ask for change, and he's like, "What do you think? I keep change on my uniform?" And he had to call the operator to get in contact with the president.
It's like, you just make it a collect call. Like the president will pay for it, but
it's like
she wouldn't allow that. And he's like, "Well, what if you run it as like base select or something like that, and it lowered the price by like 20 cents?" And
you had to get some more change.
Colonel, you have to shoot that Coca-Cola machine. You have to get that change out of there. So he puts some rounds in it.
He's like, "I'll do it, but you know what happens if you don't get in contact with the president? He's like, what,
You're gonna have
Colonel?
to
He's
answer
like,
to the Coca-Cola company.
yeah, you're gonna have to answer the Coca-Cola company. And then he shoots it, and then he goes to get changed, and it just squirts in his face.
Right. Yeah, and then just next thing we see is all the planes going away. So
yeah,
inferred that he got in contact there. I feel like there might have been a cut scene of like the conversation between Mandrake and the president there.
yeah, there should have been, yeah, because how would the president be so convinced that some base commander has the code? I suppose they're willing to try anything at that point,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, the alternative is total nuclear annihilation.
yeah. So yeah, you're right.
Uh, yeah. So Turgidson is just like completely declining, just like Ripper was as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
Ripper just goes into a full on monologue about fucking fluids and stuff before he kills himself. He's like, I was in love with a woman once, and as we were having sex, is when this idea came to me. That like we can't give them our fluids, our bodily
We
essence.
can't give them our essence. He's like, I don't hide from women, you see, but I don't allow them my essence. It's like, what the fuck?
It's perfect. But Turgidson is just fucking going crazy as well. They're talking about okay, they called back the planes now after Mandrake called, and they're like, okay, 4 of them got shot down, and they're like, wait, we only found the wreckage of 3, so maybe there's one more flying around. And the president's asking the general, he's like, well, do they even have a chance to hit their target if they're like injured?
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. He's like,
he got so
got
excited.
a chance. Hell yeah, he's got a chance. Wait.
He got so excited. He was so proud of his troops. Do they have a chance? Yeah. Hell yeah! Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Oops.
And then that was so funny.
Of course,
and then they ended up
shot.
Yeah, and then the part where
right in the bomb.
He had to go back and fix the door because the door was jammed.
Yep.
And as they were doing it, they ended up getting the door and it drops. And then he was just as soon as the door opens, he got really excited, right? I'm like, dude, that thing's gonna drop. You need to get out of there. But no, he was just he was all for it. And then he's like, what about Lieutenant Kong? And then it just showed him just
Yeehaw.
riding it down there. It was that was a very long bit screaming.
Yeah, he's just fucking whacking the fucking nuke with his hat, and
he was riding the bomb down like a rodeo. It was
great.
It was crazy.
I feel like no one's grip strength would be enough. I mean, I guess I'm not a physicist, I don't know, but to hold on to that if it's going that fast.
Yeah, no.
It looked like he had a little handle grip on it, but geez.
Yeah.
I think he'd just go shooting off of it.
No, he's like, I'll die with the bomb. I'm cool with it.
Well, we're all about to die anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll take out the brewskis and I'll go out while doing it.
Yeah, so as they're heading there to that bombing site, Strangelove is proposing his plan to the president about going into the underground mines to save everyone. He's like, we could fit probably 100,000 or so, but to make sure our population survives and that we can repopulate, we're gonna need 10 women to every man.
10 women to every man, and then we'll recover the losses.
So excited.
We'll recover the losses in 20 years. I'm like, that's a lot. That is just how many generations have been produced at once?
Yeah, imagine the fucking toll on your resources having that many babies.
Exactly. I know it's just a joke, but that's just nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy theory.
Yeah, both Strangelove and Turgidson are just both getting super excited over the plan.
Right?
And
Yeah.
they're like, and to formulate like for our survival and stuff, they have to be
Yeah.
like voluptuous and like the finest specimens of women. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Meanwhile,
what the
he's like fighting his arm to not sig hail.
fuck?
He's like he like straps it down and he starts beating his arm. He's like
He's like biting his glove and stuff. And
yeah, and then he starts choking himself. Oh my god. That was so funny.
it's good. Yeah, yeah. I went to this movie. I knew it was like comedic, but I didn't know it
I
was
didn't
gonna
think
be this
yeah.
good.
I did not expect anything like this from it. You know, even like the dialect. I want to say dialect. There's another word I could be saying for this, but like you know how they talk
Like
to each other?
accents?
It's like very, very formal, you know, most of the time.
Yeah.
And everything comes off as that. I don't like you know, sometimes it seems almost robotic on how formal they talk to each other and how fast it comes off. I don't know, like something about these old movies, they're always like that, you know?
Yeah. It feels like everyone's a little like quippier, like in an
Yeah,
intelligent way, not just like
yeah.
a snarky way.
And yeah, and just like the way they talk, I don't even know how to describe it, but like you know, like a news anchor,
Yeah.
I guess.
Like we got
Like a lot of
teleprompters.
people just have casual conversations like that, and I guess I don't know if that was like how dialogue went in the 60s, but that was something that stuck out to me, and it was like not something that didn't really seem genuine sometimes. So like that's why I was a little standoffish with these old movies because they're not always as entertaining as you'd like them to be, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, completely different times. I think we're used to a bit different dialogue in our movies too.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah, so everyone gets nuked, everyone dies, and that's how the movie ends.
yeah. Yeah, that is that what
So
that compilation was? Just
y-
everybody nuking each other and everybody dies.
yeah, yep,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It was the whole world pretty much ending. So
Okay. Like
very
the
bleak ending.
last few seconds of the dialogue in the war room was just like him standing up from the chair. He's just like, "Mein Führer, I can walk." I don't know if that was like supposed to imply that like that was what happened right before they got blown up. They got nuked. If so, that'd be kind of funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was a little confused at first because, of course, this is back in the '60s. They didn't like really have CGI or anything,
Right.
or really computers.
No.
But they just had a compilation of video clips of like actual nuke blasts of like testing
Yeah.
sites and stuff. And
Yep.
so it's like, oh, is this supposed to like mean that everyone got nuked or
Yeah.
something like that? But I think
But
if it was made in a modern day, you'd see like actual like cities being nuked instead of
actual
you could
cities that
obviously
you
tell it was
recognize.
like
Yeah.
yeah, you could
You'd
tell it
see
was
the
nuke sites.
Eiffel Tower, you know, all the world wonders just getting nuked.
Yep.
So you know where it is and who's getting nuked. That would make sense. Just seeing a compilation of nukes, I thought it was just like, okay, it's I thought it was just like different viewpoints of the same nuke that just dropped, if I'm gonna be honest.
Oh
So yeah, but that makes sense. Everybody got blown up
yeah.
right
Yeah,
before,
definitely.
right after Strangelove started to walk.
Yep. Nowadays, I'm sure we'd spend 10 million just on that final scene alone.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's funny that you say, you know, the lack of computers because like the first part of the movie, you could tell that there were just little, they weren't actual planes. Like every time it's exterior of the plane, you could tell that it's like a little toy plane, like being hung there
Yeah.
with a green screen in the background.
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what they did for it. I know that that Kubrick went into a lot of detail with the interior. When you
Yeah.
see like Slim Pickens and the crew.
Yep.
So like all that was like based off of a real plane. So a lot of that
Yeah.
was apparently pretty accurate.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, like those outside shots there.
They're pretty bad. But they made use of what, they did the best of what they could do. So can't really
Yeah.
complain about it, but it was just a different time.
Yeah. I'm sure this was a lot back then,
I'm sure.
considering that milkshakes and stuff were probably like 25 cents. But
Yeah.
the whole budget was only 1.8 million, which sounds like nothing today.
Right. But you can see
Most of
it
that budget,
when
yeah,
towards
yeah,
the actors.
yeah. Most of that budget went straight towards Peter Sellers.
Wow. Really?
Yeah,
Because
I
he
think
was
it was
that
like,
big, huh?
yeah, I guess so. Plus the fact that he had to do 3 roles. I think it was like $1 million is what I read. So over
Wait,
half the film's budget,
wait, you said 1 point, how much?
1.8.
1.8?
Yeah,
So
so he
it
over
cost
half the budget.
$800,000 other than Peter Sellers.
Yes. Yep.
That's fucking nuts. Oh,
Yep. But the
man.
movie made almost 10 million worldwide,
That's,
so it's
yeah, so it was
I mean, got its money
great
back
profit. Yeah.
like 8 times over
Yeah.
or 5.
Yeah. I
I can
guess
math.
Peter Sellers would be something like hiring, Chris Evans or something for a film.
Yep. Yeah, Chris Pratt now.
Yeah. Chris Pratt is very, very high dollar these days.
Yeah, go compare how much of the Mario budget is to Chris Pratt.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wonder.
It's probably a lot. Um,
I'm excited for that movie though. That looks like it's gonna be good.
yeah, yeah. I was a little iffy on the voice acting. I heard a lot of people saying it was kind of crap from Pratt,
Really?
and then
Charlie Day.
I actually
You know,
watched the trailer and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see where they're coming from.
dude, Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong.
Yeah, there's a lot of big names in this.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Jack Black is Bowser.
who's Bowser. Yeah, yep, yeah. I think it's going to go pretty well overall. It's going to be
And
good.
then Keegan Michael Key is Toad. So that's awesome.
That's fitting. Yeah. So some other notes I had on Strangelove here, like I said before, it was mostly based off a lot of real processes. Kubrick went into a lot of detail, like reading tons of books and stuff
Yeah.
on this matter, trying to make sure that it's accurate. Because it's supposed to be kind of like an anti-war movie, kind of like some of his other ones, like Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
And they based Ripper on an actual general, or at least it's assumed. Curtis LeMay
Oh, really?
is the actual real life general. Apparently, he wasn't
Oh.
like he's the complete like opposite from what I read into LeMay more. Like he didn't go crazy or anything, but he did have like that power, and he was one of the people I think that brought it up the chain to get it changed
Oh, okay.
when someone realized that, oh hey, sir, you have the power to just nuke Russia.
Yeah. Like it's kind of a funny scenario to make fun of, but not so funny that it actually exists. Yeah, so good on him for bringing that up. It's like, hey, I want to let you know that this is potentially a major security breach if one of our base commanders just happens to go insane.
Right. Yeah. So I read a lot into like the nuclear safeguards and stuff after this movie, just because I was curious. It does seem like they improved a lot of stuff since the '60s and since a lot of this moral outrage after movies like this
Yeah.
kind of like showed to the public what was actually going on.
Yep.
And I actually came across some stories that they raised a lot of the standards and stuff for anyone working on missile silos, like more mental health checks, higher standards of like they just hold them to a higher standard in general. And
Yeah, that
I
makes
actually seen
sense.
some stories about I think it was like 9 officers getting relieved of duty at one of our missile silos up at the Air Force Base in Minot.
Really?
So I was like, huh, yeah.
They got relieved of duty because of what? Were they just...
I thought it was it was a mixture of just, I don't know if it was like criminal acts in the civilian world or just like gambling issues, drinking issues. Like it was a variety of things.
Like the point is that it doesn't take much to be relieved if you're in that position.
Yeah. Very, very high standards. And
yeah, which makes sense. Makes us all feel safer, I guess. You don't have to worry about, one of our base commanders realizing during the act of love that we need to preserve our bodily fluids, purity of essence. So decides to nuke Russia.
They'll steal it from you if you're not careful. They'll give you
us all. Yeah, well, like his whole point for his whole reasoning for doing that is that he's like he can't trust a politician to do war stuff, or they never have any tactical thought or anything. So like he took it upon himself, thinking that he's better than a politician to start a war with Russia, not realizing the repercussions of his actions.
I mean, he's not completely wrong. I don't know if I would trust any politician to be making war decisions when...
True, but the president in this movie, seemed to have a sound mind and not starting a war. Like it is our country's policy to not start a war, which I agree with that. Let's not do that. If we could do any other means necessary to avoid a war, let's do it. Yeah. But I could see how there is a lot of Americans that would disagree if like communists. I don't I honestly don't understand the threat to our democracy, which is another form of government. That seems to be the thing. He's like, communism, bad, going to destroy us. It's like, what kind of influence does the Russians have on our government at all?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those. I mean, Team America, World Police. Like
yeah, exactly. Team America. Fuck yeah.
like we have to police the whole world. We aren't, like, ever since we got out of isolationism after like World War I and II, we can't go back into our shell. It's too late.
Everyone must do what we do.
Yeah, we became that country, and that a lot of people look to as a standard, financially, morally. Though they probably shouldn't always look at us morally. But yeah, we're just a big standard in the world. So,
but that doesn't mean get involved. We have the right to impose our beliefs on other people, even though sure. Some of the things that goes on in other countries is wrong. Okay, I think we're getting too political here. But the point is that, it's, I don't understand what my point is actually. I'm putting myself in the mindset of someone who's in the 1960s paranoid about communism.
Yeah. I mean, it did start to like spread and stuff, like Cuba, Vietnam, all those other countries that started to get like communist influences, and that's why we had all those. We had big beefs with Cuba. We kind of like cut them off financially from the world. We literally went to war with Vietnam.
Yep,
all the different stuff just over communism, and I think the Red Scare is just as similar to like Satanic Panic. It's just. It's the Christian values, I think, that we're
it doesn't hold any basis for actual paranoia, but it's very well there.
Yeah, I think it's very, very easy for us as a people to find an enemy, to
that's
look
true
towards something and like call it evil and do everything in our power to get rid of it.
We've won so many wars already. Like I think we're just overconfident.
Yeah.
It only takes one big bad enemy like Russia to come steamroll our shit as soon as we start to piss them off.
I mean, I don't know about steamrolling. If they're not doing so great in Ukraine.
Yeah, but I don't know. Something just like the sheer size of Russia makes me think that if we were to start a war with them, it would not be good for anybody. Because, I mean, they're trigger happy. We're trigger happy. If it's World War III, then that is going to be the next mankind's greatest conflict.
Yeah, or very last conflict.
Or very last conflict. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, that is scary when you think about it.
I just try to think that it's not our problem. If it happens, we won't even know. We'll just be gone.
Big flash of light and then peace.
Yeah.
That's dark.
Given our
peace.
Given our radius to a lot of nuclear missile silos, I don't think we're going to last long. And plus, our whole state, our whole region of the U.S. is farmland, which is the most important thing to get rid of. Like, if you cut off food, you don't even have people to run the missiles. So,
yep, yeah. So that's like an ancient tactic too. Was it whenever they do sieges, they just cut off their food supply by surrounding them?
Yep, don't let anyone in and out, and
so they either come out and they're at a severe disadvantage, or they just starve out and die. So yeah, we're still using tactics from the medieval ages. Well, okay, I guess we're not using them, but it's still a viable tactical plan, I guess.
Yeah, here's the last little tidbit. So Turgidson in the war room, he's starting to have one of his moments again. He's freaking out and he trips and then rolls right back up. I don't know if you remember that part. He's going off on like some rant and stuff, and he's like walking back towards the ambassador and trips. And then
I don't remember
rolls
that part.
back and he gets back up. Anyway, I was just gonna mention that was real. Like the actor actually like tripped, but he played it off so well that they just kept it in the movie.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta love those moments.
Yeah,
where they mess up a little bit, but they still gotta. The show must go on, so they play it off. I think it was in Django Unchained where Leonardo DiCaprio actually cut his finger, but he played it off.
Oof!
Like he was bleeding a lot because he smashed the glass. He did that for a part, but he cut his hand on the glass, and then he just kept acting as he was like wrapping up his hand from it bleeding. Like that takes some skill, man.
Yeah, so overall, I think I'd give this one like a 8.8. This one sat really high for me for comedies. It was good.
Yeah, I'd probably give this one a 7. I liked it, but I mean, clearly it could have done a little more for me if I was around in this era, I guess. But I didn't really like it as much, so I'll give it a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, maybe it would have scared the shit out of you more.
Yeah, maybe it would have.
In the midst of all that.
Yeah. But, I mean, not bad. It's not a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so next week, you guys can look forward to hearing Metro Chapter 2, and then also Eric's pick for the month for the movie.
Yes, Good Will Hunting.
Yes. Robin Williams and Matt Damon, and I actually don't know anything about the movie, so I'm eager. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's really good. Well, it might get a little emotional. We will cry a lot, but and then hopefully you'll cry too. Happy tears from from the emotion, the raw emotion happening on this podcast. But
yeah, it's going to be a good one.
yes. Do you have any plugs?
Yeah, if you guys want to reach out to us, hazardousopinionspod@gmail.com. You can shoot us an email, let us know your thoughts, or we're also on Instagram @hazardousopinionspod, and both of those will be linked down in the show notes as always.
Tell us your opinion on Doctor Strangelove. Also, I would like to know how old you are if you have an opinion on it, good or bad. Let us know.
If you have seen this movie in the decade it came out, or in the decade after, let us know how what was the perception back then of this?
Yes,
this kind of
I
movie?
would love to know.
Yeah, that's all I got. Anything else you're watching right now?
Me?
Yeah, any good shows or movies?
We started watching this show on Netflix. Well, we actually watched it. We watched the whole first season. It's called Fakes.
Fakes?
Yeah, it's about these two high school girls that start making a fake ID business, and they get in it with some criminal stuff, and it's pretty good. There's there's each episode is filmed from a certain perspective of a character in that show, and then like you'll see the same situation happening, but like people will act a little differently depending on whose perception it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to see for sure. So yeah, definitely recommend that.
Like they'll play a same scene back, but you'll see it from like it looks different because someone else is viewing it.
Well, it doesn't look different. Like people are acting differently. Like one of them has like anxiety, so the other one is a lot more chill. So if you see the perspective from the chill one, you'll see the other character just spazzing out, right? Even though if you've seen the same perspective from the one that has anxiety, you'll see that she's the more rational one, while the other one is like more reckless. You know, does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. So
yeah, I'm working my way through Cabinet of Curiosities.
Oh, yep.
Mr. Guillermo del Toro. It's really good. I just finished the 2 Lovecraft episodes last night. I was very impressed. I was very happy with the show so far.
Yeah,
I got like 2 episodes left.
Yeah, that's a good show. A lot of Lovecraft going on in that show too, which I can very much appreciate.
Yeah. The 2 episodes were based directly on his 2 of his novels. So
yeah,
it's good. Yeah. So look forward to next week where you hear Metro and Good Will Hunting, and after that you will hear from us about As Dusk Falls.
Yep. We'll see you then.
See ya.